Welcome to the Nutty Nitty Sisters podcast, a podcast about knitting, spinning, and fiber-related creations. We're your hosts,
Julie
and Judith.
You can find us on social media as Nutty Nitty Sisters on Instagram, at Nutty Nitty Sisters on YouTube, and you can email us at nuttynittysisters@gmail.com.
If you're watching for the first time, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and thanks for returning. We'd appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button below so you don't miss any broadcasts.
Click that bell, you'll be notified as soon as new videos are loaded.
Now, grab your knitting, find a comfy spot,
And let's get a little nutty. Hello, welcome back. Today is October 12th, it's Friday. October 12th? No, it's November 12th.
But it's Friday.
We have been all over the East Coast. But we are going to talk about today our October updates. And we'll do November at the end of November. Because we had a big trip in November too. Mm-hmm. If you did not watch last month's episode, we drew a winner for the Nutty Nitty Sisters bag and the autumn yarn mini bundle from A Yarn to Die For. And we drew the winner. The winner was Woolens. And we haven't heard from you yet, Woolen. So please reach out to us. We can give you until the end of November. End of November. So get in touch with us before the end of November to claim your prize, or we'll have to regift it, and we don't want to. No. I don't like to do that. I like the person who won to get it. So please contact us at nuttynittysisters@gmail.com. October. Life in general. What's your life in general?
Oh, my life changed.
Sure did.
In a big way.
Hence the change of scenery.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of made a tough decision. The past year or so, I've been doing my own business, self-employed. It was a huge eye-opener. It was more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. Not that, I didn't do okay, but it was not as profitable as I thought it would be, for sure. And a lot bigger time suck than I thought it was going to be.
When you're everything.
Yeah. And when you're everything and you're too small to bring anybody else on because you're not even paying yourself yet.
Yeah.
So between all that and Willie's not getting any younger, and we need health care.
Nobody is. Yeah.
We need the health care, and if I'm not making really any money, he's been carrying us for the past 18 months, and so I just had to make a tough decision to go back to work. So the good news is I decided that I knew what I was doing at Athena Health. I didn't not like what I was doing at Athena Health. It wasn't that I left because there was anything wrong with being at Athena Health. So I looked up what they had available, and a position was available that I always kind of had my eye on near the end of my employment there. But I was a little leery to go for it because it was supporting medical practices being, like a business partner with them. And I knew nothing about business or having a business, what it's involved in running a business, that kind of thing, let alone a healthcare medical practice.
But now you do.
Now I've run my own business, and I know how hard it is. So having that new perspective and having the background that I had with the company before, I said, you know what? This could really be cool, because now I kind of have a full picture and feel like I'd be more suited to support them. So I applied, and it was a whirlwind. It happened very, very quickly.
Yay!
So yeah, I started on Tuesday. Yeah, was it this Tuesday or was it last Tuesday?
No, it was last Tuesday.
Oh my, was it
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
Yes, it
before we
was.
went
It was
to
just before
Mass.
we left, yes. So I just completed my second week. Wow, time flies.
Yep. Yeah, when you're punching a clock.
So yeah, I'm tickled. I have seen some things already that were kind of pain points when I was there before, and they're gone. They've
Nice.
alleviated them,
Nice.
updated things, offering new services and products that I'm very excited about. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Cool. Yeah.
It's going to be tough. I am going to kind of keep my side hustle going, but at a very limited capacity.
Well, you
and
had
pace.
just gotten into a better a better space, like a better location,
Right.
I should say, better location, and you were just starting to get busy and starting to get, getting some money coming in, but when you're working for when you're all by yourself, when you're the only person, you can't hire anybody else
go
on.
so fast and do so
Right.
much, and I was at a point where I can't sustain this pace.
And you really needed to grow
Yeah.
to bridge that gap to be able to afford your own health care. And then once you afford your own health care, now you've got to start all over again, growing even more to start earning a profit. And yeah.
So I'm still being inundated with requests. Evidently, there's a whole lot of mending and alteration needs in Waldo County, Maine.
There's a huge, there's a lot, I think as a society, we're becoming more,
Fix before throw.
like a little less, just throw it away and replace it, and a little more, get some life out of our products rather than, and if we have to pay a little more to prolong that life and prolong the life of our planet, I think people are finally starting to turn around to that line of thinking, which is really, really good.
Yeah, and I see a fair amount of things that are heirlooms or sentimental value, and to the person, it's worth the investment to give it some more longevity. So that, and of course, when you buy, I don't want to say formal wear because folks, I don't do formal wear.
No formal.
But a lot of times when men buy pants, slacks, they come way too long, completely unhemmed. And so I was seeing a fair amount of that come in too, which I guess it could be considered formal wear, but not really, because men wear pants, not just formal wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some things that I learned that I really do not want to do or deal with. I can, but I don't want to do
covers.
Yeah. I don't do upholstery and I don't do slip covers.
And I don't do windows.
I can do it, and I might
but
for my
no
own
desire.
personal use, but I don't have
desire.
any desire to do it for hire. And your things like your prom dresses and things like that. Although we'll see where things are next spring. I talked with someone about the Cinderella program that we have here.
Yes.
I talked with someone here, and I may try a little program with, the Cinderella program here is where anyone that has what could be used for a prom dress can donate it to the program. And then those that can afford to get a prom dress are able to come to this big opening to shop for their prom dress.
Yeah.
And there are different businesses in the area that will donate hairdos or makeup or something like that. And so I was thinking I might donate some minor alterations if needed for the prom dresses. So we'll see where things are in the spring and see how that pans out. But
my girls got dresses there the year after Samantha had her heart surgery, and we had so much. I lost almost 2 months of work. Plus we had the medical bills and everything else. So prom came around. Her surgery was in October. Prom came around, and I'm just like, I can't afford dresses. I can't do it. Yeah. And someone at work told me about it, and so we found some formal dresses that they had from previous proms, and we I felt like that was a good trade. I think I traded two dresses for each girl, and then they got a dress, which was really, really cool. And actually, I still have Samantha's. Samantha's dress was featured on Channel 5, WABI television news that year. They did a thing about the project, and her dress, they called it the Mermaid Dress, and it's this beautiful green. I'll try to insert a picture of her in it. Beautiful green sequined dress, and it does. She looks like a mermaid in it, and I still have it. I want to donate it back, but I haven't known who to contact. And then I also have a dress that I bought for Kayla's senior prom that was a very pricey dress. That I just as soon donate to get it off of my wall, because it's hanging on my wall right now. So yeah, if you've got a contact, hook me up.
Yep, we can do that.
Nothing's really going on in my world. I did kind of redo this, the kids' bedroom. I really needed to get my office out of my bedroom, because you can't sleep when work is at the end of your bed, right? So I brought the desk in here, and I brought all of my fiber. I don't know if I ever I think I recorded videos, but I never posted them, of my little fiber closet. My whole fiber room was shoved into a closet. And I had a little stool in the corner, and I could shut the door and suffocate with my yarn. And that came out, and I weeded through it. I got rid of a lot of stuff. Got it nice and organized. So I've got a box for for like 5 different weights of yarn, and then the rest went, and yeah, and now it's a cozy little space. All the kids' toys went in the closet. I built some shelves in there 3 times, because the first time I built them, I didn't account for the shelving board. I put the brackets on. I didn't account for the shelving board. So when I went to put my little 18-inch square, they wouldn't fit.
By the width of the board.
So I took the brackets out, I remeasured, and I put it back up, and I had measured from this bracket to the screw hole of this bracket. Well, and I did add the board, but you've still got like 1/4 to 1/2 an inch between the screw hole and the top of the bracket, and I didn't account for that. So again, they didn't fit. So when we were gone to Rhinebeck, my husband did them properly.
Aw.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah. But I did take down some other shelving, some other brackets and stuff I had in here from when I had the clothing business. I left one up, and it's a hot flaming pile of mess. I've got to get it all gone through, and yeah. And then I left one rod and brackets up. No shelf, just rod and brackets. And it's got, I counted, 31 project bags hanging on it.
Do you remember back in 2019 when she didn't have a project bag? They were all not proper project bags.
Well, they're still not all proper, but, but I have used every bag.
She has solved the project bag problem.
I mean, literally every bag, purse, everything I could shove. Well, because I had to get rid of yarn, and I'm like, no, I can't get rid of that. That's for a specific project. Put it in a project bag. It becomes a project, right?
That's right.
That's how I got around getting rid of a lot of my yarn.
The rules can be whatever you want them to
right.
be. They're your rules.
But I went on Ravelry. I found the pattern. If I didn't own it, I put it in a wish list, so I'll own it later. And I wrote, if I didn't have the printed pattern, I wrote it on a piece of paper and stuffed it in the bag. So the bags now have the yarn and the pattern in them, so they are what they are, and that's what they're going to be. I even went as far as to write them all down in a little book.
Oh my! So you
it's
even
over there
know.
on my desk. Yeah, I've got them all written down, and I went on. I have an app that does like random list generation. Typed them all in there. Did the random sort thing, so they're all numbered according to like how I need to finish them. But on the very first page it says, "Whips must finish before cast on."
Mm-hmm.
I've cast on 2 projects in the last 2 weeks. But I finished a couple. So.
Yeah, I was supposed to clear needles, so I'm ready for the December 1st It's a make-along. Oh, darn. I've forgotten.
With who?
With Moonglow Yarn Co. and I can't remember the other. I think it's a socks make-along. I can't remember for sure.
Andrea's having a socks along too.
Oh, is she?
Cowl, yeah.
Yep. So I'm supposed to be clearing needles for December 1st so that I, don't have any projects sitting there languishing when I start this new make-along. And what do? I cast on 2 hats. I cast on a 3rd hat.
I know.
But I did finish 2 hats.
I was like all after Rhinebeck, because Rhinebeck really kind of snuck up on us.
Oh, gosh.
And so we had to do the Rhinebeck sweaters, and I had one done, kind of early, the flax.
I didn't bring my sweater.
What? Naughty Tinker.
Yes.
As Kat would say from Heather Knops, naughty Tinker.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to put a picture in.
Naughty Tinker.
What a nummy.
But it really snuck up. And so we had the sweaters that I had to, and I said, okay, that's it.
Everything else done.
I wanted to do, I haven't done an Andrea Rhinebeck specific sweater. Like the first year we went, I did the Weekender, because it was really my first real sweater I had ever done. So I did the Weekender, but it wasn't her like official Rhinebeck sweater. So this year, I wanted to do it. So I'm wearing it. This is my Illuminate.
And she got to be part of the official Andrew and Meet on the Hill picture.
I'm like way in the back. You could just barely see my little head boop, up.
But you did get your picture with her.
I did get my picture
And
with her.
we'll insert
Yes.
it.
And I'll insert that here. Yes. 'Cause it's awesome. I put a mask on. She has Hashimoto's and celiac disease, so I wanted to make sure to be respectful, even though I'm vaccinated. And I put my mask on, but if it hadn't been for the mask, you would have seen
ear to ear
these over here, because it was pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her one of our podcast cards, our little business cards, which, by the way, oh my God, thank you for all the people who have subscribed. I think we have doubled our subscribers since Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
And just a couple of little videos we did, and all
the people that we met there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We met some really cool people that were like, oh, you have a podcast?
Yeah, we were waiting on the hill for Andrea to come, and there's all these people on a bench, and there was this one family, it was 3 generations all wearing the Illuminate, and I'll put a picture of them here. But they're all wearing their Illuminate sweaters, and it was so cool. So we took their picture, we gave them a card, and when we gave them a card and said we had a podcast, like the whole row next to them, what? You have a podcast? Like hungry children.
One for you, one for you.
Yeah, we just kind of went down the line and chatting with people. And then when we went to Mass, went to West Springfield, Mass, we met one of the ladies that we'd talked to at Rhinebeck. So it was just really, really this big world, small world moment.
Yes.
But thank you for all the kind words, all the kind comments to our Rhinebeck video, all the views, just huge. Like every couple of hours I'd check and I'd be like, what? We're up to 2,000! Just crazy, good feelings. Makes my heart happy. So thank you. Much love. But yeah, so where was I going? Oh yeah. Rhinebeck sweaters, all the things. So I figured I'm not going to do any more. Like, I'm just going to focus on all the hot mess I've got at home. And then knit vent.
The best laid plans.
Knit vent. I love Helen Stewart's patterns. I did knit vent last year. I did Homemade Sock Society. I love her patterns. I love the collection, the way that she releases like a collection, and you get to do all of the patterns in the collection she released. It's like an Advent pattern
with patterns,
thing. Yeah. It's awesome. And she does a really good job with Knit Vent of giving you yardage and things to make it easy for you to do patterns within your stash. Like, she does give, you know, specific yarns that she uses for the patterns and yarn suggestions and things like that. But she also gives stash divers recommendations. Like, you know, this is how much yardage you will need of this type. Just love her. I love her patterns. So that's going on right now. And I don't know how I can stop myself. So that's a lot of chatter.
We went right from life to catch up.
That's the squirrels.
Yep.
So FOs. Shall we move to FOs?
Well, I do have a couple of FOs actually. Not with me though, because they're still drying. They are
like
not
your
dry
sweater.
yet. Oh yeah, the sweater. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
And
much...
we still don't have a picture of it either. We keep saying we're going to take a picture of it. We haven't taken a picture of it yet.
Well, I don't have a picture of it on me yet. No, but I do have a picture that we can insert.
Okay,
I'll do that.
it's stunning.
I am so
And
stinking happy with it.
Where did it get finished, Julie?
Oh, it got finished as we entered Rhinebeck. We sat down and I finished
On a rock wall just inside the barn.
Yeah, because let's see, I was
Rhinebeck.
doing the I-cord bind off on
Yep.
the shawl collar.
Yep, she sure was.
Yep, we gave a shout out, Anne Frost. We saw Anne Frost.
Yes!
Hi, Anne. She
Yes!
came over. So
she
it
came
was
in. She
with
came in.
her.
I'm like, is that Anne? I think that's Anne.
That's
I think
Anne.
I'm like, hi, Anne. And I think we saw you. If Anne watches us, I don't know, but I think we saw Anne at
Oh yeah,
West
New England
Springfield. Yeah, New England Fiber Festival in West Springfield.
I'm
think
pretty
we
sure.
saw her, and Julie heard her laugh.
That's how I knew. I'm like, Anne's here.
Yeah.
I hear her laugh.
Yeah. But we had already accosted her at Rhinebeck. We
Yeah.
didn't really feel like it would be appropriate to accost her at 2 fiber festivals and look like total stalker chicks. So, we let her be. She looked like
Yes.
she was having a lovely time.
But we love you, Anne. We
do
wanted
love
to.
you. Yes. Yes. It was so nice. She came right over and she chatted with us. It
Yeah.
was so good. And we meant to get over to the Morehouse booth to see her again. And
By the time we got there, she was already gone.
yeah, which is that Rhinebeck is like a
Oh.
time vortex. It
It
just
is.
sucks the time right away. There was so much to see and so much
Yep.
to do.
Yep.
And we had plans. And we still managed to run out of time.
Yep.
So, FOs.
Yep.
You've got your hats and your sweater.
Yep.
And we're going to put pictures in.
Yep.
Tell us about the sweater first.
So the sweater is the Spark Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And I used Briggs & Little yarn. I like those rustic yarns. Their yarns are, you know, more woolly and more rustic until you block them. And then they
Yeah.
soften up quite a bit. Still, for some people, they may be a little, you know, too rustic. But though I love those yarns. They work so well for color work. They hold their shape so well. I mean, I love the soft, beautiful yarns, but sometimes they're too drapey and they just don't hold their shape, which just doesn't work that well for me for color work. So Briggs & Little Regal is the yarn that I used, and of course they don't have anything that's a Spin Cycle Dream State or that equivalent kind of yarn, so I had to do some calculations and some thinking about, okay, how am I going to use 3 colors, because I used their washed white for the main color, and then I used yellow, turquoise, and forest brown. So each chevron was primarily one of those 3 colors, so there were 3 chevrons at the bottom, and then you went into the all over color work. So there was some calculations I needed to do and figure out in how that was going to work using individual colors versus something that just did its thing.
Did you take notes? Did you like?
Yeah, yep. Well, in Knit Companion, so I need to translate them over to Ravelry.
Because I'm going to need those because you talked me into that one.
Yes, that's one of them.
Yeah, one of the 6.
One of the 6.
One of the 8, actually. It was 8 all total. I just already knit 2 of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was my first Steek sweater. Steeking is stinking easy. Do not fear it. Do not fear it, especially if you're using one of those rustic woolly wools.
Yeah.
Those stitches don't move anywhere. You're cutting up this way, and so if your stitches were going to come undone, you'd be worried about them coming undone this way. Well, that's not the way knit unravels. Knit unravels this way. So when you're going up through this way, especially the woolly wool where it grips itself, they don't go anywhere. They just stay put. But so I was scared. This is my first one, so I did do a crochet reinforcement because I was home and not at the shop.
I'm gonna sew that stuff twice. Like,
you can absolutely sew it, but I can tell you, you really don't even need to do anything, because then this one had 5 stitches, so you have 2 columns of stitches on either side that you're not even cutting. You're cutting in that 5th stitch in the center column. So those 2 stitches automatically roll to the inside, and then when you pick up to do your shawl collar, you're that 3rd column over. You've stopped the run, if any, right there.
Yeah, that's true.
So you really don't even have to do, I would not fear to do a steek again for anything.
With that good sticky yarn, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it was a merino cashmere nylon yarn,
I
probably would sew that thing. But still, the nature of the construction of knit stitches is that they want to run this way, not this way.
I would be the one that it would.
No, it was wonderful. I would absolutely do the sweater again, knowing that it's a lot of time, because it's a fairly long cardigan. It comes down like just to the bottom of my hips kind of thing. So it's a time involved project, but I loved knitting it.
Yeah.
If I had the opportunity and the deep enough pockets to do dream cycle yarn or spin cycle yarn, that would be nice, just to let the yarn do its thing, because I had so many ends.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So many ends. I probably didn't need so many in the body, because it was only 5.
To do hand spun.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Because you could do a fractal spin and get a beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a thought in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
And the hats. So the first hat was a charity hat, a chemo cap. I knit that with Blue Fiber Company merino cashmere, luscious soft yarn. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. We'll put a picture in. The yarn was donated or gifted by Knitters Without Borders. She is a sweetheart, because if anyone knows, merino cashmere yarn is not cheap.
Yeah.
But I asked her for a recommendation for what would be the best nice soft yarn for a chemo cap, and she piped right up with that first thing. Absolutely, that was hands down what she recommended, and I can see why. It's gorgeous. You'll see in the picture, deep blue with little poolings of black in it, and it's beautiful.
So pretty.
And the second hat was Knit Crate. What is their yarn brand there that they always have? We'll insert it. It's a 100% wool single ply bulky yarn, so it's a little bit woolly, rusticy, and I wanted to knit a hat for it, but I knew that might be a little bit much. I know I'm a little bit sensitive on my forehead, 100% wool. So when we were in Rhinebeck, we got something which we'll show you later, which I carried with it.
No, it wasn't Rhinebeck. It was
wasn't?
Mass.
That was in Mass.
Yeah, it was in Mass.
Well, then I got to tell about it, because
it'll
be a long
Go
time.
For it.
So it was a alpaca silk yarn, and I'll tell you what,
alpaca mohair.
No, well,
alpaca silk and like
has
a
no mohair.
Right, it's not a mohair,
but it's a substitute of what your mohair silk
looks
is like
a mohair. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of it, never seen it or felt it or whatever, you need to seek out some alpaca silk yarn, because I am all done with the mohair silk yarn now after knitting with that. Oh,
I don't mind the mohair.
I don't mind it, but the I have to say, The halo with the mohair is a bit better with mohair than it is with the alpaca. But the soft that you get from that alpaca, as rustic as that 100% wool yarn was, that one teeny little lace weight strand of that alpaca silk, and oh my word, is it soft.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not very sensitive. I thought I'd be more sensitive to the mohair in this, but it's, and I mean, I do have a shirt on underneath, but it's low cut, and this is against my skin, and I don't have any problem with it, but I know a lot of people who do, and this
is a great alternative.
Great substitute for it. Yeah.
So that was the second hat. That's not a charity hat. That was, I actually wanted to make one for myself. So I kind of did my own pattern, but it turned out a little small for me. So I've got another skein of the wool and probably half of a cake of the alpaca silk still. So I'm going to make some revisions and make the hat in a little bigger size.
And she's going to write it down, and perhaps there'll be some Jules Makes patternage coming to Ravelry.
We'll see how brave I am.
I'll test it.
Oh, there we go. I'm all for that. Tech editors, anyone out there? So yeah, now this is the third one. This may be another charity hat, but I'm not sure because I'm not 100% sure that there's enough of the merino cashmere for a second hat. But I may go ahead and try. It may just be a small one, which there's every head size out there, so someone could probably wear it. But
I'm sure there's, like Children's Hospital that would take, a small hat for chemo kids.
Yep. So that will probably be a thing, but I did come across what was left of my Weekender, my Malabrigo Rios
really
yarn.
Pretty too.
I think this was blue jeans.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a really nice blue, and that's what they wanted was blue hats for the chemo caps. And it's an actually quite soft yarn too.
Can I shove that up close?
Especially after you block it, it really softens.
Isn't that pretty?
It's a gorgeous blue. It really is.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on her Weekender. She's worn that before, but oh gosh, look at the stitch definition.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nice yarn.
Gorgeous.
So yeah, I'm making one out of that as well.
Cool. Any other FOs for you?
I did. I had a sock. It needs its mate still, but I do have a sock I finished.
Which one?
The one out of the yarn from Paula.
Oh, yes. Oh, I almost forgot about that.
Yes. So I'll have to insert a picture.
Julie's all pictures to this episode, folks. She brought all her acquisitions, so when we get into
I did do all right there.
yarn piggery, you'll have all kinds of stuff to look at.
Yep.
I have a couple of FOs. I can't remember whether Paula's socks were last month or September or October
I
for
think
me.
you got yours done in October.
Was it in October?
I think so, because I remember when you got yours done, I was saying, oh, shoot, that is the end of the month that she wants those.
I think it was the end of September.
Was
I think
it the
I
end of
already
September?
showed them.
Okay.
I've already given them away. If I didn't, I'll talk about them. I'll show a picture. But the yarn is it wasn't yak. What was
It was a new base for her.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to be able to get their old base that they had for their Frolicking Feet yarn. It was no longer available.
She called it something, and it was super... Dynamite was the name of the base. I don't remember what the content was, but it's super scrummy, super soft, and the colorway that I knit up was Lady Slipper, and they turned out the pattern I used was, I think it was called Peacock Sock. I'm pretty sure. No, I can't remember.
This was a free pattern.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It was a free pattern. I'll put it in the show notes, but they turned out really nice. I actually shortened them a little bit to make them semi-shorty. They're like ankle length. They don't have the full length leg. The leg is just about half of what it normally would be. And when I finished them, I made them a wee bit small. they fit me, but not comfortably. Like, it was really stretching the yarn, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to really stress the yarn, so I gave them to my niece.
Well, the yarn, when I was knitting with it, it felt like a light fingering.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that had a little bit of, because who gauge swatches for socks?
Not me. But I don't think I usually do 60 rows for my feet from the end of your heel gussets to your toe. I usually do 60 rows. From your gusset to your toe decreases, I do 60 rows. It's the same for my leg as it is for my feet, because I have monster feet. And I just think I measured. I didn't really count the rowage, and I just went with it. And they were just a little bit too small. They're my feet in the pictures, but I think they were better suited to just a little bit smaller feet. So I gave them to Miss Kaylee Sue. So that was one. And then the next thing I did was I was trying to get through all of my fiber boxes for Paradise Fibers and do some small projects with the yarn from them. And then the event happened. But I found this really cute vest pattern, and it is called Cute Little Vest by Rachel Brockman. I'm pretty sure it was a free pattern. This is just the materials page, so I'm not giving anything away, but there's the pattern. And it used, I think she used kind of a self-striping yarn. Yeah. But I just used my hand spun, and for Dylan, I used the walnut dyed Pullworth Pullworth fiber, and this is so squishy and so soft. It turned out so good.
So nice.
So nice. The only modification I made was around the neckline. There really wasn't, the way that she did her neckline is, you can kind of see in the picture here, she kind of overlapped it and sewed it together. And instead, I just did decreases to make it, make it kind of a V. So that one was Dylan's. And then Lincoln's, I used the BFL Silk blend. I think it was a BFL Silk that we Kool-Aid dyed. So you can just very subtle yellows and greens in there that we did. And this one is also very, very soft. But when he tried it on, he said it was itchy.
Oh, no.
Lincoln is very sensitive to wool. So I think he'll do all right with like a turtleneck, a mock turtleneck underneath.
I mean, it's firm. I don't think it's scratchy, but it is firm. And for some people, a firm yarn is not as comfortable.
Yeah. So I think he'll be all right in a mock turtleneck. We'll have to try it on in the winter. But yeah, I did the same sizes. They did turn out just a little bit.
Oh, not much.
Just a very teeny tiny little bit shorter on Dylan's, but other than that, they were very, very similar. So those are done. Sweater vests for Christmas.
Was that hand spun too?
That was hand spun. Yeah, hand dyed, hand spun. It was from the Fiber of the Month Club boxes from Paradise Fibers.
Nice.
And then the next pattern I did was, so this was, I actually have the cards for this one. This was from the February Fiber of the Month Club. And this, I have just absolutely fallen in love with this fiber. Gotland Tweed Blend. It is 50% Gotland, 25% Merino, 20% Tussa, and 5% viscose tweed. And I love the way it spun. I love the way it plied. It was everything. And I love the way it knit up. So I knit up. This is a paid for pattern, so I will just show the title page. It is called Bensonhurst. I'm pretty sure it was a paid for pattern. Ann Hansen, yes. So in the Fiberbox newsletter, they suggested, because it's a yin and yang, black and white, negative positive kind of yarn, you know, they suggested mosaic knitting. And I did my swatch in a very, very obviously patterned mosaic like pattern. But these gloves just really struck me. I thought they were so cool looking, so I went with these instead. And they are amazing. The thumbs, I didn't do a stretchy bind off on the thumbs. I did a regular bind off, and so they're a little bit snug, but I like them. So they are fingerless mitts, and they are so cozy and so warm, and I am going to truly love these, especially if we go back in the office before winter. It's so cold in the office most of the time, and so I'll be able to type and have my little mittens on. So there they are, hand spun. Gee, go really nice with my sweater. Oh yeah, wouldn't they? Knit some. Yeah. So hand spun, hand knit, loveliness. Those were my only FOs. I did have a Knitastrophe. I was attempting to make some gloves for my grandchildren. They said they wanted, first they said they didn't want mittens. They wanted gloves. So I started to knit them, and I don't have the pattern here. I won't mention it. Oh, I do have the pattern. Okay, I won't. I didn't care for it, but it totally was probably just my knitting or the yarn that I chose. I don't know, but I just didn't care for how they turned out. Gloves for Kids, PK pattern by Lisa Ann Michelle. And I didn't care for how the fingers came out on the gloves. So this was the first glove that I made. And this yarn is Knitters Brewer Company Sockaholic Brewski. I have no idea where I got it. Oh, no clue. Luxury really worsted cool, fine merino superwash. The colorway is Beach Getaway. And it is a lovely yarn. Great. Lovely, lovely yarn. It was a single worsted. I figured it would be great. I could get 2 pairs of mittens out of it. So this one, I made, the thumb was just, all the fingers just were too small. Too small for any little hands. So that was a fail. The
fingers are very short.
Yeah. I mean, I did it according to the measurements in the pattern. And I just...
So high the thumb goes up and then the fingers aren't very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, it said to, do this many rows and then, cast off or put these on holders and you do your pinky and then you do a little more and you do this and you do a little more and just... And then it said, knit for so many inches and then you start to do your decreases and it just, didn't turn out. So I figured, okay, I'll try it again, but I had the kids come over and I traced their hand on a piece of cardstock and I measured, so when I do a finger, I'd be able to knit it as long as their finger.
Yeah.
Well, when I did that and I showed them this, they said, we want gloves we want fingers, but no fingertips. I showed them these gloves and they said, no, we want to have fingers, but no fingertips. Okay. 6-year-olds know what they want, apparently. So I made this. I haven't weaved in ends because I didn't like it. And I haven't tried it on anybody. I'll have to try it on Dylan. It's
That definitely looks better.
Yeah, it does. They look longer, and I think they'll work. But there's an awful lot of gaps in between the fingers. Like, I don't know if you can
Just
see
do
it.
like you do on the thumb gussets.
Yeah.
Weave in your ends and close them up.
Yeah. But it's really hard to get in there. Here's a good example. Right there. There's just a lot of gaps where little hands can get cold. So I'm abandoning ship. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same like stitch count of this pattern, but I'm going to knit them like this. And then not this pattern, just a plain vanilla, you know, and with the same stitch counts and everything. But then when I get to this point, instead of doing like they do with the pinky and then the ring and then the middle and then I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to, as I stitch across, I'm going to close in and make 4 finger holes, and then I'm going to pick up the stitches around the edge and knit. So your in between your fingers will actually be like this. Like this will be like sewn together. I don't know. I may just do the mittens and they'll have to suck it up. I don't know. I'm very discouraged. Anyway, if anybody has a good suggestion on kids' gloves with a worsted weight yarn, I would love to hear it because I'm discouraged. So that was my catastrophe. What about whips, Julie? Whip. Whip it good. She's got hat on the needles. Is that your only whip?
Oh, God, no. No, I still have the Dairy Rush shawl on needles.
Oh, yeah.
I still need to do the mate to the sock for Paula's yarn. I have another sock, a shorty sock that needs a mate. I have a business casual sock that needs a mate. I have a sweater that needs a mate. And I have
a sweater that needs a mate?
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called now. Changing Paths? Yeah, I think it's Changing Paths by Hohi Locatelli. And then I have 2 shawls. The Storm shawl. I think it's Storm shawl. Hohi Locatelli. And one other one that I cannot remember right now. Not that many.
Not that many. She was monogamous before.
Yeah.
She started
you know how
sucking
enabling
me in.
I am about sweater quantities? She
I
is
can
that way
enable
about
her.
whips.
I can enable her into a pattern like that.
Yeah.
Is that all? Is that all you got for whips?
I think that's it for whips.
And the only one you brought with you was your hat.
Yes.
Because the others are languishing.
They're in our old terms, moldy nuts.
Moldy nuts.
At this point, they're
The only moldy nuts are my kids' clothes. I still have the Regia Lofoten design line by Arnie and Carlos sock. It gets a row now and then. I actually have it in my purse in a little bag, so if I get stuck in traffic, like today I went to physical therapy and I was able to do 4 stitches before I was called in, but I just take it, and when I need to do something, if I go pick up Kayla, that's what I take with me. That way I don't have to bag up any other project I have going on. I just have something in my purse that I can work on. So
I forgot about one whip.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Red mittens?
Red mittens!
I did get the pair of red mittens done. That it's an order for someone that had some alterations at the shop. Also wanted a pair of red mittens. The moral of the story for me is do not take too much time between knitting mittens so that you get 2 mittens that are very much the same.
How many did you end up with? 3
I ended up with 3.
3 different mittens.
Well, no. Well, yeah, 3, but then I ripped the one back.
Yes.
And redid that. So then I ended up with a pair.
Yes.
But at one point, yes. I'm very fussy, and so these 3 mittens were just enough not quite alike that I wouldn't put them together for a pair.
I would have put a bow on it. There you go.
I thought it was hilarious. So, yeah, the moral of the story for me is don't knit pairs of mittens too far apart.
If it was a commissioned work, I probably would have done the same. But for anybody else, it's just like, here you go.
Yeah.
The red mittens. Yes, that's what we're knitting in Springfield.
Yes, I was trying desperately to get them done because I wanted to have the freedom that if something just really sucked me in there and I wanted to cast it on, I wouldn't feel so guilty because I had the mittens done.
Yeah. And something did, which we'll talk about next episode. The hat, the mittens.
Oh, that I need
the
to
Starry
cast on.
Night Mittens or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
that I need to cast on very much so.
So I have a couple of whips going on. I have the Arnie sock. I always call them the Arnie socks. They're not. They're the Regia socks. Lofoten design line by Arnie and Carlos. So I've got those going. I still have Sockosaurus. She's moldy oldie. I think I'm gonna frog it and redo it. Yeah, I really think I am. Wow. I recently got the new Harry Potter. I had pre-ordered it like back in March or April, and it finally came, the new Harry Potter knitting book. And there's a pair of socks in there that Kayla really, really likes, and they're knee-high socks. So I'm thinking I can take that yarn and do that pattern, and then I'm killing two birds with one stone.
There you go.
Because that's, instead of me trying to figure out how to do the calf increases, I can use their recommended. Like, somebody else write the pattern. I can't do it.
See, I would be like all into the maths and everything. I'm such a process knitter.
Nope. Hand me a pattern. I'll knit the heck out of it. Nope.
Yeah, that's where we're yin and yang. That is for sure.
Yeah. I just want to get the thing. I don't care how I get there. Just tell me how to get there. It's like driving. I need a GPS. I can't figure it out on my own. And what else do I have? I have Sockosaurus. I have...
Did you have another sweater started?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
You did for some reason.
Two more recent whips. I know I have more than that, but it escapes me where they are or what they are or whatever. I did start Knit Vent. So window 1 and window 2 have been released. Window 1 is called Skyline Wrap. And I made myself mini skeins, 20-gram mini skeins out of my scraps. And I hung them in little paper bags. And I put, in a couple of the bags, I put like pieces of candy or a bag of tea or a granola bar. You know, just little, like, something special for me when I open the bag. My own little Advent Knit Vent calendar thing. So I've been unwrapping them, and just whatever color comes out is what I knit. So,
and this is so cohesive for being scrappy.
I know. It's so pretty. Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
I am so in love with it.
Yep.
So in love with it. So these are all scraps of things. This brownie color in here is from it's from the scraps of this. Yeah. Some of the bags I didn't have. I ran out of 20 grams, but I had a couple of 10 grams. And that's this section here where it kind of goes from this pink into this purpley. I ran out of the pink, so I had another 10 gram, and I just went with it. And whatever happens, happens, and was meant to be. And I think so far it is stunning.
Yep. I like it.
So, window 2 was released yesterday, so I'm gonna try to do this.
This was just window 1?
This was
all of this?
This is only about 25% of window 1. Where am I at on the pattern? No, I'm at a little over 35% done. Just for window 1.
How many windows are there?
5, 6?
Oh. I was thinking like 11. I'm going, oh my word, this
No.
is going to round your house.
I know. No, well this pattern, the sky wrap pattern is just window 1. So I didn't finish window 1.
Oh.
Each window is a new pattern.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I didn't finish this because it is a huge, beautiful, gorgeous wrap. I'll find the picture, the photo from her.
Wow, I was doing some calculations here thinking, Lord almighty, that's going all the way around her house.
It is a very long wrap. So here's the picture from her pattern. It is a very long wrap.
Boy, you could wrap around and around
Yeah.
and around with that.
And there's a photo. I don't know if I can show it without giving the pattern away. I can try.
Fold and fold and fold.
Yeah. There's a beautiful picture of Helen in the pattern.
Wow, so it goes, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's
nice.
a wrap.
Yeah,
It
goes right down past your fingertips. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful cozy wrap. So I just am going to knit on it as much as I can here and there throughout the rest of Knit Vent. It's going to be like filler if I get other projects done.
Yeah,
It's
because
ridiculous.
she'll likely have a variety of quicker. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like this is window 2, so this is the second pattern in the series.
So don't look if you don't know yet.
Yes,
If you haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it, this is the Rose Cottage cowl, and
like
it's a
that.
beautiful cabled cowl. She is such a pretty soul. Pretty lady, pretty soul. So I did cast that on as well. So that is my other whip. So this one, I've finished these 2 colors, and I'm getting ready for the next color. It is living in my Christmassy Yarn to Die For project bag. This was gifts from Robin when we first started podcasting, so I love it. It's one of my faves. So this is, and the yarn for that sky wrap is a variety, so I'm not gonna.
You must have just cast this on because I haven't seen it.
I did just cast this on. It was just released yesterday.
Ah.
So the yarn was given to me by, there's a group that I knit with through work that does charity knitting for veterans homes. And they they don't use wool yarn because the blankets have to be washed. And so any wool yarn that they get donated, they see if anybody else wants it. So I snagged some. It's called Cottage Craft Fine Woolens, 2-ply, 100% pure wool from New Brunswick, Canada. And it looks like a very old tag. So I'm thinking it's probably, I don't know if they're still in business or not. But the yarn is very, very rustic. I mean, it's got hemp and it's got vegetative matter. And it feels very rustic.
It feels a lot like Briggs and Little.
Yes. It reminded me of Bartlett. And you can see from the yarn, it's kind of one of those yarns that are, it's not dyed, it's the fibers blended. The different colored fibers are blended together to make, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
It's so
You got
pretty.
purples and blues and pinks. And
Yeah. So I do have a fair amount of the cowl done. Get it.
I love cables. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Boy, look at the stitch definition for cables.
Yeah. It is very, I'm not sure about, like, some people might find it a little harsh around, and it's going to be big. It's going to be a big cowl. It's going to be nice and drapey.
Put your alpaca with that.
I probably should have taken one of these stockinette repeats out and made it just a little bit smaller, but somebody will love it.
Yep.
So that is my other whip, and that's all my whips. That is it. I actually was very good and got some stuff done that had been languishing for a while. Oh, I missed an FO.
Uh-oh. Oh.
I've been working on this for about a year.
You got it done.
I did get it done.
Mile
It
a
is
minute.
crocheted, mile a minute Afghan.
I like the colors.
I can't for the life of me remember the pattern. It is from an ancient book that I've got. But it is going to go to the veterans home through the charity knit group that I'm with at work. And we make blankets that go to the veterans homes at Christmas time. So every veteran gets a new blanket for Christmas.
Nice.
Yep. So that will go
Very
to some
pretty.
lucky soul.
Yep.
Okay, that is all our projects. We are going to move into acquisitions and some yarn and fiber piggery. I can't remember where I heard that. I think it might have been Amber from Yarn Hoarder. But
Yeah, I'll just say snort, snort right now.
yeah, so if you are not into this thing, thank you for watching. But if you want to see some lovely purchases from lovely people, oh my goodness. Everyone we met at every booth in Rhinebeck was just absolutely the sweetest.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shall you begin?
Fine,
Go for
sure.
it. Go for it.
I don't have it in any like order of what we.
No, neither
got
do
it
I.
in.
I
Ugh,
can't.
I can't remember all that.
I can't. No.
But
I don't even know if I've got all my things.
I'll start off with the biggest, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
I'm
find
kind of
the
jelly
card.
about this.
So, I have a couple of wheels or plates, whichever way you want to call them. So these are pencil roving, and I was so thrilled when we walked in that building and I saw plates of pencil roving. It's very similar to Plotolopi or Nutiden, if you've heard of those yarns. It's unspun, but you can spin it. You could spin it if you wanted to, because you know there's a lot of the drafting's already done for you right there.
All you'd be doing is adding some twist, really.
Or like I say, I love the Plotolopi. That's what I made my forager out of. So I could just knit with it for that kind of thing too. So these were, I can't remember which building it was, but these were from Zellinger Wool Company. Oh, I'm gonna get closer. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Zellinger Wool Company, and they were very economical. I can't remember exactly how much they were, but they were. I want to say they were $9 or $9.50 a piece.
I was going to say, I think you said they were $10 a piece.
It was under $20 for both of those.
Yeah,
and I have
crazy.
no idea how much is on there, but I mean those things are bigger than my head.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're huge.
They're a pizza pie.
Yeah. So definitely will be hanging on to their card because I know I will want more. It's really soft. It doesn't have any tag. It doesn't say exactly what wool, what sheep breed it is, but it's pretty darn soft. I'm pretty tickled with it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I can even kind of still feel lanolin in it.
Yeah, yeah, you really can.
There is some I was going, there's some VM in there. So it's not like scoured. It's still got a little of that lanolin in it. Oh, it smells sheepy.
Oh, that smells lovely. A little bit of machine oil smell.
Yeah, a little bit. But it reminds me of Plotolopi a lot.
It's actually softer than Plotolopi, I think.
Yeah, it is a little. I think probably because the Plotolopi, the Icelandic, they have the guard hair in with that.
Yep.
Also, or a good amount of good guard hair. I don't think this has any.
No.
This is soft.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
And yeah, they've been doing this for over a century. Their card says.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have batting, mattress pads, comforters, roving, comb top, yarn, socks, hand-stitched quilts, bed pillows. They got it all. So you can find them at www.zwool.com, or you can email them at info@zwool.com. And they're in Michigan. But they were in Mass. I was very happy.
Rhinebeck. That was Rhinebeck.
Oh, that was Rhinebeck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, that was Rhinebeck. Let's see. What else? Oh, yes. My Taproot Magazine.
Yes. That was the first
Blair.
place we went, wasn't it?
I think that was the first booth we went
It
to.
just says we went in.
That's their 2022 calendar, and it's really, really beautiful. Their things are just, they're simple, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of like watercolor pictures. I
Beautiful.
mean, it's a good size calendar.
Oh, flip it over. You can show all the all the things.
There's all the different months.
All the things.
So pretty.
By Neera Lee Patel.
Yep, that's
Is the
art.
artist.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So that was definitely a snag.
I thought she was gonna come through the table when I pointed those out.
Yeah.
She was so excited.
Taproot has a lot of nice things, but Taproot is right here in Maine, too.
Yeah.
But typically their calendars go pretty quickly. So when she pointed out the calendars, I just went, ah!
I thought
Grab
she was
it.
gonna knock me over to get there.
And we went in the barn, I think is where we were in. It
Yeah,
was-
like the museum-y
Yeah, the
barn.
museum barn setup. So
Yeah.
cool. Oh my gosh, don't skip it if you go to
Yeah.
Rhinebeck.
I think a lot of people go for, the
Yeah.
fiber and the meet up on the hill and the food and I think this might be a little
so
overlooked.
interesting. I think it's very overlooked.
Yeah.
There were not a
There
lot
weren't.
of people.
No, there really wasn't.
But it's all different, as you go through, it's all different scenes of period correct rooms, basically. Like, you might have a doctor's office and the post office and a printer's area. I'm just trying to remember some
I
of
think
all of
they
them.
had like a blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
There was like a general store kind of thing
Yes.
where you'd have your post office
yeah,
and your
everything all in one
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
And then they had, just at the end, as we got ready to go out, they had the print shop.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the old, what are they, typeset? The old metal typeset blocks and everything that they always used to use in the printing. And very informative guy there.
Yeah.
He was explaining anything. He knew it
The
all.
history of, you know, when they would do typeset by the letter, and then when they came out with typesetting by the line. So like you'd have a whole line of,
like your whole one sentence or a whole paragraph even.
yeah, would
might be on one plate.
Yeah.
And
then they would melt that down.
These
and
people were
redo.
thinking about recycling back then.
Mm-hmm.
The ingenuity of the old way of doing things. I mean, we're very privileged these days and ages to have automation and the technology that we do.
Yeah.
But the things that they did with what little they had back then is what amazes me. I mean, you had to really use your brain to do some of the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
And so they had these. They were so nice.
I forgot mine. Mine's
Just a little bookmark.
I
and
love
these
it.
are typeset printed.
Yeah, he printed it. He was printing them right there.
Yep. So I just thought that was so
That is
cool.
cool.
Real keepsake.
Yeah.
Let's see what else have we got. Oh, we got some scrummy yummy. And I've got it specially packaged because I don't want to rough it up. Do you remember this? You don't remember it? Take a whiff.
Remember.
Oh
my god, I do remember. I wanted to get some of this so bad, but I had already been so naughty.
So sheepy, it's unreal.
Oh.
And I've got it in that bag because it is so soft that you touch it and it roughs it up. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm on sheep fume overload right now.
Everything about her booth, I loved.
It was amazing.
I loved.
Fibers. I mean, look how long.
Yeah.
Look at this. I can't even get it all on
It's
camera.
like puffy little clouds.
It is. It's so soft. It is Polworth silk. Polworth, my favorite. A half a pound, and it was only $15.95, so it was very...
Gotland. Oh,
this is Polworth silk.
I know.
But you like Gotland, too.
Yeah.
And this was from the Sheep Shed. The Sheep Shed at Mountain View Farm. So this must be one of the like business processes at Mountain View Farm. I wish we had Squish-A-Vision because this is just luscious.
It's so, and she had some dyed there too that was so pretty.
She had all sorts of different blends. I mean, she had the baby camel. She had all sorts of blends. It was a really gorgeous booth. Well, I got one because I wanted to shop other places too.
I know. And but, I at that point I had really pigged out and I couldn't anymore.
I really haven't been doing a lot of spinning, but I do want to get back into it. So that is just...
You will fall in love with Polworth.
Yeah.
And the silk in there too.
I love silk. So.
I know.
So yes, that was the Sheep Shed. So you better believe I got their info. I'm hanging on to that too. Let's see what's next. Are these both the same? Yes, these are both the same. Oh, was this? This was that cowl. Yes, it was.
That cowl. There was a.
We'll put a picture in.
Yeah. Because I did get
gorgeous cowl.
Beautiful cowl.
And this is from one of my favorite farms, Farmer Tam. And if you don't recognize, that one is Peter Pan and Fam. So these yarns were from Peter Pan and Fam, from Wing and a Prayer Farm. So there's her tag, Peter Pan and Fam, Wing and a Prayer Farm. This one is 100% Cormo. So it's approximately 200 yards of Aran weight in 100 grams. And Cormo is so nice.
Squishy.
It is so nice. And I like hers are 2-ply. So they're nice and springy and bouncy, and stitch definition is great. When you see the picture of the cowl, that's why I got something from them, because I knew that this would give real good stitch definition in that cowl. And I love these.
Yeah.
Colors,
those are your colors.
Yeah. So yes, that was another wonderful, wonderful thing. And I got my Wing and a Prayer Farm sticker.
Love.
And my Juby sticker. Jubilee. I'll keep putting myself off camera. Yeah, Jubilee. If you don't know Jubilee, go to the Wing and a Prayer Farm, either Instagram or website. Jubilee is just absolutely adorable.
The star of the show.
Yeah, she really is. For a long time she thought she was dog because she was raised in the kitchen. But she is with all her family now, and she's just wonderful. So this is from Neighborhood Fiber Co. There we go. And this is their Studio Worsted, which is 100% organic merino, 200 yards and 4 ounces. And this is the Lucille Clifton colorway. I don't think this is the one.
The one to match the Hohi bag?
Yeah. Was this the one?
I think so.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So they had special edition or limited edition Hohi Locatelli bags for Rhinebeck. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the other one was purple.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So they had limited edition colors that went along or kind of coordinated with the Hohi bags. So this one definitely, of course, caught my eye. The color.
Teal.
Teal. Hello. So yeah, Neighborhood Fiber Co. has really nice yarn. They do. And I've never had a Neighborhood Fiber Co. yet, so I'm excited about that.
I hadn't heard of them. I'm not in the loop like you are, though.
Oh, that's just my schedule. Oh, is this? No, this isn't. Well, this is one. I've been wanting to make some mittens, and I've been wanting to make some Thrummed Mittens specifically. So guess what Morehouse Farm just happened to have?
They saw her coming.
Wonderfully warm Thrummed Mittens. And it has everything in it. The yarn and the roving to do the thrums. So guess who's going to have to do some thrummed mittens now?
You can check that off your list for techniques.
Yeah,
you are
I'm getting
checking.
there. There's only one thing. Well, it's not even on my list, so
We still got to get you to
Nope.
brioche.
nope. It's not even on my list. I have no desire.
I want
I
it
really
just 'cause
don't.
it's a thing, and I want to conquer it.
I just have no desire. I'd rather just do
Ribbing?
ridged garter.
I got to do it just because.
Just because.
Because it's there.
Yep. And then, this was one of the first ones we stopped at.
Yes,
too.
and
This
I got
was fun.
I got some from them too.
Yeah. So this
So I'll
was
share mine at the same time.
Boondoggle Farm, and they were the coolest folks.
Oh my gosh, I had
They
such a
were-
good time with them.
They were a blast.
So sweet, so down to earth. We actually got picked. Well, I got a picture with them. I held the selfie stick out and cut Julie right out of the picture.
But I was there. Proof.
She was there. Yes. So I'll show you a picture of them. They're very sweet people.
So they had these little bundles. Look at these little bundles. 4 little colors. Oh, 5 actually, sorry. 5 coordinating little bundles, and the bundles were all kind of different colors. You could choose what spoke to
I had a
you.
whole bin of them there, and I was
Yeah.
just like swimming in them.
I mean, a minis bucket or something like that. Oh, we'll dive right in it.
Yep,
We'll swim
sure
in it.
will. Sure will.
But these little bundles were intended to be just what you need to knit their Finsport Fair Isle hat. So that's why we got a bundle. And you got 2.
And I got 2. I got this one, all the browns, and that little bit of green, and then, of course,
There's got to be a mustard.
got a mustard, right? This one's grays and mustards, and it's they're so pretty.
They
They're
are. And the
so
the
soft.
yarn is nice. That's definitely a hat I can wear. Definitely.
And then
I don't want to give it away, but like in their pattern, there are different charted.
Yeah.
All of these designs on here have a chart in the pattern, so you can do it just like it shows here, or you can mix and match those patterns to make the hat your own.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really, really cool.
And then she had her daughter there, I think it was her daughter, who did screen printed bags at college.
Yeah.
And so excuse me, Brady. Wiggle the
Earthquake.
table. Earthquake. Brady quake. Boondoggle Farm little progress bags, little linen bags, and she made them at college. She said screen printed them, so I thought they
I
were
gotta go on their
adorable.
website and see if they have any more. I should have got one. I kicked myself when I was going through stuff for not getting one.
Yeah, I had to. I just thought it would be perfect project bag. That's another project bag for that purchase.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yep. And then I just one last thing was there was a booth there that had Indian Lake Artisans. These are hexagonal needles. Not sure if anyone's heard of those. I've heard of Indian Lake Artisans.
Somebody, I can't remember, I was watching Rhinebeck videos on YouTube and somebody else mentioned them. It might have been Christy Glass.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but
So they're pretty cool. They're hexagonal, which is that's 8, or is that 6? Hex is 8, right?
no, oct is 8. It's gotta be 6. 5? No, pentagon is 5.
Hexagon is 6.
Hex is 6.
Septagon is 7. Okay, got it.
Octagon is 8.
All right, so 6.
Now that we've been through our geometry lesson.
So 6-sided, so they feel a little different, but they're fine.
Not like the cubics ones. The cubics,
No, you can really feel the ridge with the cubics.
Yeah.
With these, you can't really feel the ridge, but you can feel that they have a little grip because of those edges. They're not sharp edges at all. But the needles spin on the cord, so that's a cool feature. I have to say that I always have a problem with the joins on needles.
She's a join snob.
If they catch up here where that cord connects, at all, it's just a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, these catch for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could use them. Definitely, I could use them. But they would not be what I would grab for first.
Yeah.
That's all.
His big selling point on them was that, like, when you're doing decreases like knit twos together, you know, your yarn is circular around your needle. So with the hexagonal construction of the needle, it gives you a space to kind of put your needle through, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. It makes perfect sense. It gives you that space to slide your needle through.
That's
to be
always
able to
a hard part, is getting that point to find a place it can get started.
Yeah.
So this would definitely help with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just got to work on the join. For Jules. Jules join.
I'm just fussy. That's all.
Nothing wrong with that. You know what you like.
So that is my piggery.
I have a few more. I did not get as much as I thought I would get. The only yarn I got was boondoggle. The rest was all fiber and other things. I always like to look up oh god, now I can't remember her name. I always like to look up Wee Ones on when I go to Rhinebeck, because Wee Ones was like my very first polymer clay kind of fancy schmancy stitch marker purchase at Netaspa several years ago, and then I bought some from her again at Rhinebeck the last time. And the last time we were there, her mother had some drawstring bags that I bought one of, and her mom had some bags again. So I had to get stitch markers, so I looked through and I found these little unicorns. Oh
so
my
cute.
gosh, they're adorable. The first set of stitch markers I ever got from her were Brady Bear, little chocolate labs, and these are little unicorns. So when I saw them, I thought, Dylan loves unicorns, my granddaughter, and she is a huge fiber enthusiast like her Nana. So I also found her mother had this cute little, I'm not sure what these are called, but they're like wrist bags.
Yeah.
With unicorns. So this, and it's got a beautiful little pink lining too. So this is getting tucked away, and when Dylan is old enough to start learning how to knit, this will be her very first project bag. So I couldn't resist. So there's that. And then I got some Bartlett yarns. I love their little roving packets. Kits, yeah. The last time I got this, I actually spun them. I got a naturals color, green, and like an orangish. And it comes with 6 different little whirls of roving. The last time I did it, I spun it all like a kind of like a fractal thing. And this time I decided I wanted to have each individual color. One is on the eWill Nano. So I wanted to do individual little minis and then come up with some sort of a color work something when I get them all done.
I love how their roving spins up like Tweety with little bits.
Yes. And when I spun the first time I spun this, I was very meticulous about picking out all the veggie, all the VM and all the Tweety bits and everything else. This, I just went with it. And it really turns out
it gives the yarn
quite
such
nice
character.
Yeah. So this was their fall set. And like I said, there's another brown one that's on the wheel now. And then I also got their harvest set. And the harvest set I have finished. Sorry about the glare. The harvest set I've finished.
Of course you have.
So, well, I have to participate in a lot of conference calls. And a lot of the calls I don't really need to say much. I just need to observe or to, like, learn. And so the Nano is this tiny little spinner that sits on my desk, and I can just spin away on a conference call. And it honestly helps me concentrate a little bit to have something to do with my hands while I'm watching and listening. Yep. So that's what I do. And for a while I was like, I'm going to get one done a night. And then it didn't happen. So the last 2 fibery things I got was at Loop Fiber Studio.
And these are so cool.
These are the coolest on the planet. They had these, sorry about the crinkle. They had these set up on like a wall with all these little cubes, and they were like this. So like these little donuts. Oh my God, I can't.
They're so cool.
So I guess I mean, you can probably spin it any way you want, but you start from the middle and just kind of
let it do its
thing, and it becomes a thing, and then ply it together, and it's like a fractally thing. So this is merino, angelina, and nylon. This is called arboretum.
Yeah.
It's called Bullseye Bump. So it's this really cute, like, mini chubby bat.
So if you were wanting to do a 3-ply with that, what would you
I don't know.
Weigh it and
you'd have to weigh it and pull some out, or I don't know if you can unroll it.
Maybe you can, or maybe you spin it, like if you, does it say how much it's supposed to be?
Yeah,
4.7 ounces.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a 3-ply and you divided that by 3, then you could spin until you had a third of 4.7 ounces.
Yeah.
And then do
but I
another
think
bobbin.
I'm gonna spin the whole thing.
Just try to do it all on one bobbin.
Ooh. And then do like a center pull.
4.7 ounces. Can you get that on a bobbin?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
I was thinking 4 was the max.
Well, it might be pushing the envelope a little bit, but I like to push that old envelope. And then I got another one. This is 6.2, so this might be a little harder to push, but...
Oh, this one's so pretty.
Worst case scenario, I will, spin on 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can spin as far as you can, and then do a center pull ball, and then, like, when you get to the... Well, no, you can't really do that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This one is so pretty. This one is Cabernet.
Oh.
And that was this was the first one I saw, and I'm just like, burgundy. I need to have it.
Oh.
I need to have it. And this one is also merino, angelina, nylon. So these could be beautiful fractally socks, like the ones Andrea's releasing on Tuesday.
With spackle.
I had seen this place in the brochure, and I went to their website, and they had the coolest soap flavors. Scents.
Some of them do smell pretty yummy, though.
And I got there, and I just loved everything about everything. So the reason I wanted to go see them is I wanted to bring back some gifts for my family. And my eldest daughter, Kayla, I got her cannabis Santal because she uses cannabis as an anxiety and PTSD medication. So I thought this would be cute for her. Cannabis Santal. And then my husband is obsessed with lilacs. When the lilacs go into bloom, I have to cut a tree down and bring it in the house. And so that one is lilac. Do you want to smell it?
Oh, it smells like spring.
I know.
Oh.
And then I love white tea and ginger. So I got me very clean white tea and ginger.
But just that little bit of spice at the end.
Yes. And then they had this one there, Holiday Sparkle.
Oh,
You're going to want to eat this one.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
All the piney and cinnamon and holiday
just Christmas
yumminess.
all
It's,
over the
yeah,
place.
it's Christmas in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't used them yet because I am a little obsessed with soap and I have a lot of soap. But while we were there, we also saw this cute little thing, cookies, goat's milk cookies. So these are like when they make their batch of cookies, when they make their batch of soaps, and they need to like cut that little bit off the end, or you might end up with a little bit at the other end. So they're like little soap biscuits. And
I think that's an amazing idea.
so cool. I mean, otherwise, what would you do?
Yeah.
You can't really melt it back down. You've got a variety of scents. So, yeah, you've got all these little yummy little nuggets of
soap wafers.
flavors. I do have one in my master bathroom right now. I cut them in half because
It's a perfect little individual
yeah,
soap.
it's perfect for your bathroom soap. So yeah, there's quite a few in there, and I just thought it was brilliant. And then they had this blackberry sage lotion that is just to die for. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't get over how lovely that smells. So it
The
sits
blackberry is like yummy,
Yes.
and then the sage is like,
yummy and earthy.
Yeah.
And
all in one.
it sits on my desk and I use it all day long when I'm getting all stressed, But yeah, and this is a very little thing to some, but to me it's a very big thing. Their cap, their squirter, their pump, it doesn't, how usually you have to like push it all the way down and turn it to lock it. It just locks
Turns, yeah.
or unlocks.
No
That's
wasting
it.
a dollop of lotion.
Yeah,
just
a
to lock
dollop,
it.
the whole body worth of lotion just to lock the thing. So it's perfect for like traveling or,
Yeah.
for locking down when the kids are in the room. But yeah. So that is Cat's View Farm. And I think that was all my piggery.
No. Was it? Yes. The other thing was Springfield. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's more piggery to come.
Yes.
But that will be another day. That will be, I think we spilled some of our November into this episode, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So with that, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you are looking for us individually on social media, where can we find you, Julie?
I am Jules.makes on Instagram and Jules Makes on Facebook and Jules Larrabee on Ravelry.
And I am Nana's House 15 on Ravelry, and I'm Nana's_house 15 on Instagram. So until next time, stay nutty and keep knitting. Bye.